It's time, everybody. It is sweet potato harvesting time. So let's get started. All right, so this is what we're looking like in the first week of November. And we have 3 bags. They haven't completely died back. A lot of times I like to wait until they completely die back, but I do need a few days, a couple of weeks actually, for them to sweeten up. And so I'm gonna get them harvested right now. We're actually coming into some crazy weather where we're gonna have below freezing temps. Right now it's about 65, 68 degrees out here. It's beautiful, and it's probably going to be 75 degrees tomorrow and over the next couple of days in the daytime, but then it's going to plummet to about 30 degrees. So this weather is crazy in North Carolina. But I think for the most part, the season is done, so we can go ahead and harvest these without fear of taking away too much more growth potential. So let's go ahead and get these harvested because the nights are pretty chilly. It's getting down into the 40s routinely at night, so we can go ahead and harvest these. So out of bag 1, or out of all 3 bags this year, I used langbonite again, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. We got a sweet potato actually sticking up out of the dirt, so that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and pull that one out since we already see it. Oh man, feels like a good one. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Nice. Look at it. This never gets old, guys. Never gets old. Yes. We're off to a great start. Let's take that out of there. Heck, if this bag only has that one in there, it's a win. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Okay. Good. And sometimes I'll use these smaller ones to make slips out of for the next year, so those don't go to waste. Get some of this out of here so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. This one broke off. That's another good size one. Oh, nice. This one broke off. I wonder if this is the other one from this one that broke off. Ah, it is. That was huge. No wonder it broke off. My word. This is a perfect one for making slips from. It's got a good diameter, but it will fit great in the glass. This is a great one for making slips from. If you use the indoor method with the water in the glass. Some people don't prefer that one because they say it's not optimal, but it's just the way I do it. There's, you know, multiple ways to make slips. Whatever way you do it so that you can get more sweet potatoes the next year that works for you, do that. As long as you're self-sufficient and you're getting it done, that's all that matters. I got this back corner shoved up under this cattle panel and I'm having trouble. I might have to call my husband to get this out for me. I was hoping to be able to do it by myself, but let's see. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I got it. There is a sweet potato stuck at the bottom of this bag. And I cannot get it out. gonna have to go get a spade. I'll be right back. Okay. Got my spade. Yep, gonna have to call in reinforcements. I had to call in reinforcements because I could not get this sweet potato that's all the way at the bottom. I've tried to use the spade and to no avail. It's still stuck. So I had to call hubby in to try to get it out for me. You can feel with your hand to see if you can even see where it is. You feel it. Don't get your work clothes all dirty. Sorry.
Couple of them.
Thank you. I was fighting with that thing for like 5 minutes. It was one?
Yeah, I thought it might. We had another one, but that was just.
It just seemed like it was stuck under there for some reason.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Beth.
Okay, so here is the harvest for bag number 1. That is excellent. I'm happy with that. Very, very good. I'm going to move on to bag number 2. And just for reference, these are 50-gallon garden bags. Even though this is cut, I wouldn't worry about it because once you cure it, that cut end or where it's broken off will scab over. So you cure these for a few weeks in a warm, moist environment. Warm, humid, not moist, a warm, humid environment. That's how you cure sweet potatoes. So it's different from some other items that you may cure. That's how you cure sweet potatoes. Warm, humid environment. So I usually take mine, bring them in the house, put them in a box, and put a damp towel over the box or inside the box, close the box up, and that's how I do it. And put it in a dark closet. It's pretty easy. I think one year maybe last year, I put them in the greenhouse on top of a grow mat with um, the same damp cloth or damp towel, but the grow mat kept it so warm that kept having to check that it wasn't drying out. So that was a little harder to keep the humidity up. Even though I live in a humid area, that grow mat dries it out quite a bit. It dried it out, so I wasn't too keen on um, that solution. But I just tried it out. Just thought it might solve the solution of it. You know, maybe getting a little cool. Sometimes in the house, you don't want it too hot. You know. Especially if you're a woman of a certain age. If you know if you know, you know. You don't want it too hot while you're sleeping. So if we were going to have another month of warm weather, those would have been some nice big sweet potatoes, but we're not, so. Like in years past, as we go down the line, I've noticed that or actually, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the footage, but I think, if I remember correctly, that bag always gets the most and the biggest sweet potatoes, if I remember correctly. The first bag, and then that one usually has the least. Or was it the other way around? I'm gonna have to check my footage and I'll let you guys know. These seem a little smaller. This year I did everything the same. Um, I used Garden Tone on every bag, and I used Langbonite on every bag, and one other thing, bone meal, and that's it. I applied the Langbonite just one time, just preparing the soil, in the early spring, because you don't put sweet potato slips in until the weather is very warm. So when the soil is getting ready, so early spring, I put the langbonite in. Oops, I just broke something. I put the langbonite in and the bone meal, and I put all the fertilizers in, but particularly the langbonite so it can break down. And I did give a top dress of um, bone meal and garden tone when I put the slips in. I do remember that. But no more langbonite. I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this bag, and I'll come back when I have everything that I harvested from bag number 2. All right, here is the harvest for bag 2. And I don't know if you can tell the perspective or the relative size of this bowl, but this bowl is huge. Like I said, this is a 50-gallon grow bag, and this is one of those humongous, like 24-inch mixing bowls, one of the big industrial kitchen bowls, and it is almost full. So that is very exciting. So now I'm going to move on to bag 3. This one started to split a little bit, but in general, I would say that I did a better job at watering this year because I didn't have as many that were split, and that's been something that I've dealt with in the past with inconsistent watering. So we've done a better job this year with being more consistent with our watering. So while sweet potatoes do need a good amount of water and humid conditions, it needs to be consistent watering. You'll notice that I'm clipping these and not completely cutting them off at the soil level. The reason I do that is because it helps me sometimes to know where to start digging. Eventually, you see I go just forage all around, but what to start off, I'll go right where I planted the slips, and there should be potatoes right there. I grabbed that one because I saw it sticking out of the dirt, but usually, sometimes you get a womp womp. No, that one just broke off. I felt it. Broke the top off of one. That one's gonna be a big one, I can tell. That's okay. Yeah, that's a big one. Go ahead and pull this out because it's getting in my way now. It does seem like this bag is a little more moist for some reason. Which makes the soil heavier. I'm gonna come back to that one. So I feel like I need to loosen up the soil around it a bit. So I don't want to break it again. That was a big one. A lot going on in the center of this bag. That's probably why I was having some trouble. So this one broke off, but I don't feel like that was the one that I was fighting with. Maybe it was. I'll dig around a little bit. Whoa, I want to kill our cabbages in the process. There it is. Okay. Wasn't the biggest one, it was just a little stuck and we had to loosen everything up around. But that is a great size sweet potato. Okay, we'll finish up with this bag, come back, and I'll show you the final harvest. You see what has surfaced in bag one. Unfortunately, that is a grub. So that's not good. So hopefully that doesn't, nope, 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 nope. You will not go back in there. No. So that's a grub. I had to catch him before, sorry. Had to catch him before he goes back in there. Let me zoom out so you guys aren't blurry. That's a grub, and we don't want those because they can devastate your sweet potato harvest. Beneficial nematodes is something that you can treat your soil with if you have been plagued with these, but that's something that you unfortunately have to have been plagued with them, then you have to treat it like the next season. So I had that happen to me before, and the beneficial nematodes did help, but I lost a lot of think it was tomatoes, peppers, bunch of things. I can't quite remember right now, but these bad boys on the other side of the garden, in the main garden, plagued me, and I'm wondering now if um I used some soil from that side of the garden in these bags. I don't think I did. Um, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. But anyway, that's a grub. Hopefully, I don't find too many more. But usually, where there's one, there's many. So that's an update. Back to harvesting bag one. All right, here is the final harvest. So, bag number one actually um, had the lowest amount, but I did end up finding a second um, grub. So that happened. So that may have affected it, but I think it really has more to do with the sun. But I swear, I think in the past I've gotten more out of, when I say bag number one, I'm sorry, the third bag, this bag that's furthest away, that one got the least amount. This middle bag got the most, and this first bag over here got the biggest ones. So that is our final sweet potato harvest for 2025. It was a success. I actually think I might have to go back and look, but this might be the biggest harvest yet. So I'm very, very pleased. This is an excellent harvest. I think the labdanite and the not bone broth, I'm sorry, the labdanite, garden tone, and bone meal, did a great job as our fertilizers for the year, and I think it was a beautiful harvest. If you guys live somewhere where you have a long enough season to grow sweet potatoes, a long enough warm season to grow sweet potatoes, we have a very long warm growing season, so we can grow sweet potatoes. You need at least 90 days, preferably closer to 100 warm days, very warm days, to grow sweet potatoes. I grow them in bags because it's a little easier for me to harvest, but you don't have to grow them in bags. You can grow them in the ground. I grow them in bags. Some people grow them in boxes, I've seen, but they're easy to grow, and I would suggest everyone give it a try. When you bring in the sweet potatoes from outside, they're very dirty. So I just brush off a lot of the big surface dirt with a dry paper towel or a towel into the sink. I don't put any water on them, and I store them in a cardboard box on a towel, and then I put a damp towel on top of those and store them away in a warm area. I have a scale under here, and once I'm done brushing off that surface dirt, I'm going to give you a final tally of the final weight on our harvest for the 2025 growing season. All right, so here are the sweet potatoes with all of the surface dirt brushed off. Obviously, you're going to wash them well after they've cured and before you cook and eat them. But before they're cured, I just go ahead and brush all of the surface dirt off. So let's go ahead and get them on the scale and weigh them. 25.3 pounds. And I took 1 pound away for the box because I measured it earlier with the kitchen scale. So that's 24 pounds of sweet potatoes. I would say that is an excellent harvest. beautiful. You guys go and have a beautiful, beautiful day or night wherever you are.